I built a tree house, and Bob came in here and kept saying, he had a branch here and he had a branch there. And we did. And the thing became huge. I mean, these branches were like 6 inches in diameter, 8 inches in diameter. Pretty soon I looked, I said, Bob, I don't think we can get this out of here, this tree. We built it in a magic shop. And he said, oh, yeah, you're right. So he said, well, we'll take the building apart. So they took one end of the building out just to get it out. That was kind of funny.
My name is Nancy Morrill. My parents are Bob and Ruth, who started Storyland. When I was a very little girl, my mom and I went to Germany to be with my dad. He had been called back into the service after the war. And we lived there for about 2 years. And one day, when we had come back home, a woman knocked on the door of our little apartment where we lived. Her name was Frau von Arps. And she had these little tiny dolls to sell that were exquisite, each dressed in little felt clothes. She said, would you like to buy some of these for your little girl? So they asked, of course, what it cost. And they said, well, we could buy maybe a couple. And maybe if you come back in a little bit, another week or two, we could maybe buy some more. In the conversation, my father was a great conversationalist, as anyone who ever knew him knows. And he said, we're thinking when we go back about what we're going to do. And so she said, why don't you build a village built around storybook characters? And they said, how do you mean?
We asked an artist here in town to start and draw some sketches of things that we might be able to build, little houses and things. We wanted to look like storybook houses. Bob started to build the houses for the three little pigs in the driveway at our house, and people came by and thought he was building fancy dog houses.
So they came back and they looked around at land and they saw this piece of property, which my dad called a wide spot on the side of the road that had been the home of a sawmill. And they liked it because it had a hill, this hill, for Heidi's house. He said, we have to have a piece of property where there's a hill so we can have Heidi's house. So they went to 11 banks, and everybody looked at them and said, you want to do what? That's nuts. And some of the local, people who had been successful in business said, Bob, you've lost your mind. It won't work. But a bank in Berlin gave them an insanely tiny amount of money, and they said, yes, we got it. And that's how it started.
Starting small, a parking lot was cleared, an entrance building was put up, and a sign was hung. Slowly but surely, fairy tales appeared where before there was only a tree.
And it may be the one day of the whole year that the whole family is together. And I think that's part of that's my satisfaction, that everyone goes away feeling good about their day and themselves, and they've had a good time. And what more can you do for anybody?
Bob and both Stony, they did everything in the park. It's not like, okay, you go do this, you go. There's cigarette butts in the ground, they're out picking them up. Bob's loved to get in the Pixie Kitchen and cook some hot dogs and stuff like that. So and all that wore off on us, So it wasn't just, it was everyone together making this place go along.
Here we go. Bye.
I would say that participating, being visible, add up to a formula where the people who are working here know they can count on you. They know that you put in just the same amount of time that they do, and that inspires good performance, we believe.
I never really had an opportunity to work with Bob, but one of the things I distinctly remember is getting ready in the morning and being in the entrance building and a morning like this, the sun out and everything is beautiful, and him walking by and a big wave, good morning, like he acknowledged everyone, and I always remembered that.
You see their presence almost all day long. And they would, they would come, they would greet us, good morning. Is there anything we can do for you? Okay, not what you can do for us, but what we can do for you. And because of that, we were proud to work here because we wanted to help them make the world happier. And we just love doing this for them.
Yeah. You felt like a person and not a number.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
These people would actually give you the shirt off their back.
We are a family business, but the family only spreads so far. So the family atmosphere certainly spread beyond the genetic makeup, and a tremendous number of people have been committed to what we do here for an awful long time.
This is the Humpty Roll.
Come back here, Humpty Dumpty!
Oh, we used to do dumpster racing. When we had the bigger dumpsters, not the big small ones that we have, the rolly dumpsters, people racing around, picking up trash or barrels afterwards, or stroller racers.
Oh, I do remember stroller races.
The old strollers, not the current ones. Meeting a lot of people, I think, has probably been the best thing. Making a lot of friends. There's some good times, and especially when we got Bob and Stoney involved. It was really fun to see them kick it up a little bit, or let loose, as we say.
Hi, I'm Robbie Knoxville, and this is the Pumpkin Coach.
Everybody kept coming back because they liked who they worked with. How many marriages came out of this place?
Tons.
Tons. Yeah.
You were one of them.
53 years. I have to tell the Cinderella story? All right. Early in the season in 1968, I relieved Charlie Haskell for lunch. And we had real horses back then, and that was just the greatest. Dusty and Frosty were the two horses. I remember that. And I drove the pumpkin coach up to the castle, and this young lady who I'd never seen before came out of the castle. And that was it for me. I fell in love immediately. She thought I was a nut. I worked all summer for a date, and I finally got a date. First date was looking at antique cars. Charlie Haskell, we went in his car.
I was Cinderella that summer, and the blonde boy from Massachusetts that relieved the coach is now my husband. So another Prince Charming right here at Storyland.
We got married in 1971. We've been married for 53 years, so I married Cinderella. And at the time, I was Prince Charming. Maybe not so much now. But that's the story, and
you're sticking to it.
I'm sticking to it, Bobby. Yep.
Donna has pretty much done all the artwork throughout the park. She mentored me into some of the stuff that she's done. My background is graphic design, so I sort of slid right into the art department and worked with Donna for a few years.
Had a lot of fun designing areas like Dr. Geysers and the pirate ship and just whatever they wanted. I tried to make it fit where fantasy lives.
It's wonderful to continue on the theming and the storytelling that Storyland has always wanted to do.
At the Circle of Friends Theater, Marion and I did the Big Shoe review shows. There were 2 of them each day that we do, one clown comedy, one comedy magic.
In our clown shows, we had our dogs performing. They did all kinds of tricks, and they knew how to do magic tricks. They knew how to move in and out without us giving a command or anything. It's really
Hi there, folks, and thanks for coming to the reunion tonight. My name is Bob Grant, alias Grub, and I've been here since 1964, and this is 2003. So this is my 40th season. Started out in the parking lot, and then worked my way up through rides to where now I'm sharing the responsibility of coordinating the efforts of all our cast members here at Storyland. Thanks.
I guess, Bob Grant played a huge part in our development, right? We both started here at 15, 16 years old, 14 years old. And, Grub was just this character, could be bigger than life at times. And his ability to sort of communicate his energy for Storyland, I think played, a big role in who we were as teenagers. Coming to Storyland really helped me to sort of, get comfortable working with guests and just improving my social interaction with others my age. And of course, at the time, Storyland was just, we had mostly teenagers. The vast majority of our team members were teenagers.
I'd like to introduce, I can't, if she's, Nancy, where are you? My sister, Nancy. Say hi. Hold on. No. Oh, right there. You don't have to come up and make a speech. Just wave your hand so everybody can see it. Some of you from a long time ago will remember Nancy and her, was it your Mother Goose?
When Stoney became ill, I was diagnosed. He asked me to be around. And so I was up here a lot for about 2 years during that time. And he thought long and hard about it and everything. And we talked about a lot of different options. And he just said, I think we have to do it, but I want to sell it to someone who understands the ethos of our company, which is a very family-oriented business, really cares about the customers, about the employees who work here, takes good care of them. Our longtime, fabulous accountant who'd been with our family for over 40 years, Jim Porath, Stoney said, anything you need to know about the financial aspects, Jim's the guy. He's done it all, he knows it all. I trust him implicitly. Whatever he says is what it is. So, within, 5 days maybe, they came back to us with an offer. And it was the day Stoney died. So he didn't know. I think he would have been shocked. Because, when you live in the middle of something like this and you develop it and you go through the worry about money for so long, you do not think of the value of what you have. We never did. I know there are companies who do, we never did. But my dad, I can hear him just laughing. Oh my God, he would laugh hysterically thinking, because he always thought of the park as it became, but really as it was in the very beginning when they were struggling along. And so that was, it's the third child in the family. Always has been. 70 years, that's tough to think, to imagine.
We were always in pursuit of what we call the unique factor. In other words, take the less trodden road, because that's the unusual thing and that's what makes you unique. If we had to do it all over again, I would change very, very little. It seems as though the disappointments, the frustrations, the routes that we had to take, which we thought were interfering with our progress at the time, they were all there for a purpose.
Bob Morrow was a mentor to many of us here. No matter what your job was, small job, big job, what you looked like, where you came from, he generally cared about you. Even the folks that are here today, that are cast members that never knew Bob Morrow, every single day you are influenced by Bob Morrow, because we're carrying on what he began. It's very appropriate that this engine now will be known as the Robert S. Morrow. He may not be here in body, but he will be here in spirit, around and around the park every single day from now on. There it is.
There would be people who would arrive
I always laughed at this. They would come and they had literally like a 2-week-old infant, but it gave them an excuse to come to Storyland. And so they'd be walking around, and that to me was great. They were waiting, you know, because some people were like, I can't go to Storyland, I don't have kids. Then they had a kid and they could officially go to Storyland. It's been 70 years of family fun, and in looking towards the next 70 years, that's exactly what I would hope, that is places that families can come and enjoy themselves as a family. Forget about the world, forget what's on the other side of the gate, and just come and experience it as a family.
3, 2, 1. Blue Lagoon is officially open.
Well, it's nice that there's places like this in the world where you can find a peace and serenity, because there's not a lot of places like this. And I'm forever grateful that I got involved. I know that.
It's been 70 years of giving people a place to forget about all their worries, all their concerns, of giving kids and their parents an opportunity to interact and spend time together.
I guess it's been 70 years of seeing enjoyment on faces of everyone, including myself as a child, myself as an adult with my children coming here, and seeing everybody else having a good time and continuing with that for more years, for 70 more years.
70 years of people walking through that gate out there and just forgetting all their troubles.
I mean, putting the smiles on the people, that's pure joy for me. 70 years of that.
I'd say it's been 70 years of love.
Oh.
I want to say I'm very lucky to have 3 amazing women in my life.
I knew that was coming. There we go. It's all about this right here.
You know,
This was amazing.
But I could not be so lucky any other lifetime.
Come here, Ellen.
We're all good.
I can't even hug her.
70 years of joy.
Yeah. Fun.
The second families walk into the park, it comes alive. And it changes your demeanor, and the stress of getting the job done goes away because the families walk into the park and make it come alive. And it's always going to do that. It's always going to do that.
I think we've had a better and more fruitful life than either one of us could ever have imagined.